decided on what I want to make today. I've been thinking about the fact that I have this show this coming weekend and I need to make some things for it, namely some fairy ears and some, hi Beth, and I need to make some fairy ears and some hair barrettes, but I don't generally make those on, well, I have before, but we don't really need to because we've got a whole bunch of them that I've already made in the past. Of course, I make all kinds of things and then make something new. Hey, Brandy. So, who knows what I'll decide to do here. Um, a lot of the stuff that I do make for like hair barrettes and such will need to be painted to a degree. So, and I do have some things painted, but just not a lot right now. Um, but like I said, I do need some hair barrettes, and I went and checked my boxes for my things yesterday and discovered I had 2 holes in my hair barrette box that I don't have filled, and if there's nothing in them, that means I didn't have any extras either, or it would have already been done. Um, so I'm going to have to go through some stuff and see what I have that I can use to make hair barrettes and such, and then I have to see about pricing some things and all that other wonderful fun stuff. Um, Hi, Miranda. Hi, Anita. So I really haven't decided what to do today. I didn't have any real plans. So I do have this dragon that over the weekend Chris had wanted to know what to do with the ones that just have a pin on them, not a necklace holder. So I made it this little harness out of seed beads. And in making it, I don't know if you can see it, I did leave a little loop of Softlex right here so that I could hook something onto it. So we could use this to make a necklace or something. I'd probably want to use it to make a necklace and leave the pin on it so that they could use it as a pin as well. When I do that, what I like to do is take a small lobster claw, which is what I did with this one. He had a pin thing on him. Let's see if I can get the green one out so I can show you what I'm talking about for those of you who maybe were not with us when I made it. Unfortunately, I think he's half buried here under other necklaces, which I have to decide which ones are going to go with me, and I have to see if I want to price those. I'm a little bit leery about this show because my knee still isn't, it's not perfect, obviously, and once I get settled, I am going to have to walk a little bit to my space. So I'm a little bit, yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work. But you gotta. If I don't try, I'm not never going to do it, obviously. So we gotta give it a good try, and we'll see how it works. Um, My other dragon must be very buried because I've already pulled off half a dozen necklaces here and it's still not coming up. See, I have a very bad habit of hooking things onto my tripod because they have little. It's got a little place where actually I could, um, if I get a second one of these lights that I have here, I can hook the lights up on either corner because there's a spot to hang them. And so anyway, so because they've got a little knob up there, I tend to just hook things over it. And I got a whole bunch of things hooked over it right now. Come on. Where's the dragon? It's got to be in here. There's everything else is in here. And I can see it. Of course, it's the bottom one. So I had to take everything else off. So there it is. Now we'll see if we can get everything else back up without dropping them all over the place. There we go. That was easier than I thought. Anyway, this is the necklace that we'd already made with one of the dragons. This little piece likes to flip. It's supposed to go down, but it doesn't always want to. So, but he's got a lobster claw on. See how I hooked him onto the bell with a lobster claw? So if you wanted to, you could take him off of the necklace, just unhook your lobster claw, take him off the necklace and use him as a pin, which is how I designed him to be. I can do the same thing with this purple one if I want to. But so there is that necklace. This piece likes to slip because it's got two things through it. But looks like so. So let's see who else has joined us. I think I already said hi to Beth. Hi, Tammy. And hi, Donna. So there is my green dragon. He's now going to hook back up here. I am going to price him probably and take him to the show because the Fairy Festival is sort of a fantasy thing. So you want fantasy things if possible. I do have a couple of anklets I'm going to price to take and probably a few more of my newer bracelets. But the thing I do need to make, like I said, is some fairy ears and some hair barrettes. But I'll probably make those off camera after. I think I'm going to have to paint a few pieces. So I also have only got one of my raven skull necklaces done, and those tend to be pretty popular. I probably maybe should find my raven skulls and do some of those. Oh, and remember how I said I was thinking I'd take these little bottles I have and put a few sapphires in them for like prizes or something? I did do that. See, there's 3 raw Montana sapphires in the little bottle. Though I don't need to wire wrap their neck because I forgot they have a little screw top. So I have those made. I've got 4 of them. But I'm thinking, I'm trying to decide what I want to use here and what I want to do. You know, you've always got those things. Do I have any fairy ears to show? I don't have any in the house. They're all outside in my craft fair stuff. I have 4 sets made. I need to make 2 more for the show. This is a blank, and this is my sample blank that I made when I was trying to figure out how to make them. It's actually made out of, I think it's either 18 or 16 gauge, or 14, 18 or 20 gauge. And I usually make these with a higher gauge because I don't want them bending. Though 18 does work, but that's my blank that I keep beside me here in case I forget what I'm doing ever. But I need to do some painting on some things to make some new blanks because, oh, let's see if I can find them off it quickly. Yeah, I can. Here they are. One pair I want to make, and I try to make them all different, is going to have this package. Well, there's 2 in the package. So there's perfect for your fairy ears. I'm going to use these really pretty, whoop, dropped her. Got to get at the other one. These little pretty fairies and on one of the pair of fairy ears. So she's got to be painted. I suppose if I wanted to get some things, I could sit and paint today. I don't know if that would be interesting to anybody. Hi, Angel. How's it going? But like I said, I really didn't think about what I wanted to make today. I had gone out to my craft stuff yesterday to see what I had missing. There she is. And discovered I only had 4 sets of fairy ears, and I want 6. I like to have 6 of anything in. Hi, Sid. It's good to see you, Angel. And so I like to have 6 of most odds and end things, like 6 pair of bobby pins, 6 pair of hair combs, that kind of stuff. I did make hair combs the other day, so I don't need, and bobby pins, so I don't need either of those. I have plenty, but I did go out and look at my boxes for my normal, my hair barrettes, and discovered that a lot of them were there was holes in all 3 boxes, so I need some more extra large, some more large, and some medium. So I'll probably be working on those during the week, but I don't think I'm going to record those. They're not the most popular videos, so we'll see what I decide to do. But like I said, I've got to price things this week. Maisha was pricing things the other day when we were talking, so she understands that pricing thing. You're going to do a show, you got to price things. So I got to decide what else I need to make, if I want to make anything else, and what I need to price and all that other wonderful fun stuff. I would go and quickly go get a pair of the fairy ears to show you, Miranda, but I'm not exactly sure what box they're in, and it would take me longer than it's worth to go to it. So I don't think so. Don't think I will today anyway. I can post some pictures up in our group later. I do have pictures of all of them. So probably all of them I've even made ever is I still have pictures of. So I was looking for something the other day and thought I saw that it was supposed to be in this particular package, but if it is, I'm not seeing it, which is just the way it goes sometimes. That's all right. Not even sure whatever I was looking for. Do you ever do that? Go looking for something and go, oh, what was I looking for? I'm not sure what I was looking for. So let's start planning for your show. We'd be interested in that. You'd be interested in my show? Well, it's a fairy festival. It's the 2nd annual one we've had here up in the Flathead Valley. Last year I did pretty good. I sold all the fairy ears I had last year, so that's why I say I had 6 pair. And that's why I say I need 6 pair. I did sell some of my circlets there. I take my more simple ones to the fairy festival. Though actually, no, I took them all last year, I guess, and I sold a few of them. Of course, the ones that sell the best are the ones with the little fairy or fairy hoop at the bottom where I dangle, has a little circle and I dangle something from it. Those are always fun. I will take anything that is fanciful, like the dragons. Like I said, I will price that dragon necklace and take it. And so I do need to, like I said, I do need to price things and decide what I need to take. Like I said, everything that's sort of fanciful around here, I will take it. My dragon necklace, the any dragon ears or earrings or anything like that that I have made in the past. Um, my fairy ears, my circlets, and I'll take just about any kind of jewelry. People love jewelry. They like looking at it, if nothing else, you know. But I do try and at least take um, some things with fairies or dragons or oh, what's the other thing that I sometimes do that's sort of fanciful. I need to take twice the amount of what I will sell. Yeah, I find that that's generally true. And I try to have extras of most things that aren't on the table. Like for my hair barrette boxes, my large hair barrettes, I have 15 hair barrettes in them. And I try to have at least 3 or 4 extras that I have set aside so that when I sell one, I can put a new one in the box so it doesn't have an empty hole. There's been days when it's just hair barrette cells and I've got holes all over my boxes, even though I always take extras. And it's just the way it goes. And that's why my large and my extra large boxes each have a hole in them. So I need to, and I usually only have 4 or 5 of the extra large because they're pretty big. And unless you got lots of hair, then they're not going to work. They're going to be too big for you. So um, so anyway, anything that's sort of fanciful, because this is a fantasy festival, um, we want to take those kind of things. So, like for instance, I have already got her this large fairy painted. She will go on one of my hair barrettes that I make this week, so that because she's a fairy in there, there's something a little different. I will, of course, cut her ring off the top of her head because we don't want that. That's something, if you're making it into a necklace or something, it's there. But she will lose her ring off the top of her head. In fact, let's just do that. Um, I use my heavier duty clippers for that. So we'll just go into her ring and cut it off. You have to be careful because you don't want to get their wings when you're cutting off their loops. So I just cut off her loop and now I'm going to sand it down some or file it down some so we don't have a sharp spot. Though it's really not that much of a problem because she is going to go on a hair barrette. The hair is going to get glued down and she won't, that sharp spot will be against the other pieces of metal, so it won't be as much of a problem. So she just lost her loop, so she's ready to get put onto something. Now I didn't bring those pieces in here, or we could work on them to a degree, but she'll go back in here in the bin of already painted stuff. I've got like 3 or 4 of those. I do have some dragons in here. In fact, I have a hummingbird and dragonflies, all kinds of various leaves, because let's face it, you got to have leaves to go with your plants. I have sunflowers that are painted. I have a little lizard over here. I also have some little deer. I don't know if you can see them. I don't want to dump them out accidentally. But there's 4 or 5 little deer in here. I usually keep those for Christmas, so I can use those for Santa's stuff. But I have all kinds of leaves and dragons and hummingbirds, dragonflies, that kind of stuff for And it depends on my mood, what I'm going to put on the fairy ears. These two will be one set of the fairy ears for sure. I think I have some already with maybe with the sunflowers. I'm not sure. I'll have to check. But if I am going to do some of these for fairy ears, I have to make sure I have two of everything, because the fairy ears, I make two, one for each ear, of course. So, but I have some little tiny green dragons painted right now. See, aren't they cute? And I could make those into earrings if I wanted, though the back side isn't painted, so I'm not sure if I would want to do that. We have butterflies. You weren't painted. You shouldn't be in this pile. Looks like I only have one dragon of this style, of the green one painted. He'll probably go on a hair barrette. So all of these things will either be turned into hair barrettes or fairy ears, or maybe our dragon will become a necklace. Yeah, Miranda, I haven't been able to find them myself lately. They told me they were out of stock, and I haven't ever seen them come back into stock, which upsets me because they're my favorites. And I've tried different ones and I don't like them. Oh, I'm sorry, Anita. I gotta say, I hate having my arthritis in my knees, but when it comes right down to brass tacks, I'm glad it's in my knees and not in my hands. I would be, I don't even know what I would call it if it was in my hands. It would be horrible. So, trying to decide how I want to paint these fairies. They're going to, like I said, they're going to go on a pair of fairy ears. How I do that is I take my blank, then I put some kind of base piece here, just like I would with my hair barrettes, and then she will get either wire wrapped or glued. She'll probably do a mix of both, and then she'll go in the middle like this with something down either side to give a sort of background piece to her. So anyway, I'm not sure if we want to make anything or today or not. I could paint. I could work on this dragon. Or I could make some earrings out of these little green dragons I have here, which might be fun. Thank you, Anita. You think that the fairy ear will look good. I think it will also. So, but I feel the need to do something. Now, I will tell you that Friday is my setup day, and I think my setup time is at 11:30. Where did I put that letter? It's right here. This is our map for our fairy festival. See all the booths. We're going to have lots of people. I'm right over here. And we have specific places or times to set up. My time to set up is between 11 and 12:30. 11 and 12:30. So I was thinking it was 11:30 too. So if it's 11 to that might cause problems with our show on Friday. We may have to schedule it for a different time. We'll see what I decide to do. Oh, you made some fairy ears? Fun. They are fun to make, aren't they? So I know I have one. There's one lady that I know who makes, who has a 3D printer, and she makes entire ear like an ear extension for fairy ears that she sells. So sort of fun, but all kinds of wonderful fun things. I have decided I have a lot of stickers around the house. So what's your first set? So I am going to make a little bowl with stickers in it so the kids can get a sticker if they want to. Some of those stickers are dragons. Some are horses, all kinds of different odds and end pretties, you know. So I really keep looking at this dragon and thinking, I need to make him into a necklace. He's purple and pink. I have lots of purple and pink beads. Do we want to turn down and see what we can figure out for this dragon? I think he might be fun to make something out of him. We have over a half hour left. So my anniversary bundle that I ordered the pink one. It's supposed to be coming pretty soon. Not sure when it's going to show up, but it's supposed to be coming pretty soon. Oh, the purple sari silk. Good, good. Let's get that down. Oh, especially this one because it's purple and pink, and he's got pink as well as the purple. That would be pretty. Yours just got here. Which one, Beth? Mine that I ordered is the pink one. You got the lemon one and the pink one already? Now, I know they said they shipped mine out, so I was like, ooh, cool, it's shipped. I could get it anytime, you know. Of course, with the way the mail is, it could decide to take a side trip. They're very good at that. So we'll see if it decides to do that or not. Which I could. Hey, Cynthia. Well, that's a cabochon. I've still got some odds and things that I haven't gone through that I'm going, what's up there? So, what I think we'll do with our dragon, though, is I got to see if I have any large hole purple. I'm thinking what I want to do is just take this and I'm thinking I want to just put knots in the end and then put a slider bead, if I can get one to go over this. so that you could make it shorter or longer. And then I'll just get one of my where are they? There we go. One of my bales. We can put the, let's turn you guys down. You can't even see what I'm doing. Sorry. Sorry, you probably just got a flash of light from my light up there. I really love that light. When hopefully after this show, I'll have enough funds to buy a second one, and then I'll put them on both sides here instead of in the middle. Maybe I'll get 2 more and have 3. Anyway, figure we'll put him on the sari silk like so. Ta-da. Gosh, that sari silk is perfect, Anita. Thank you for suggesting that. You love my earrings? Oh, thank you. I made these. When did we have the dragonfly set from BBB? This was the chandelier. This is a chandelier I chose myself. But the beads are all from the Bargain Bead Box Dragonfly kit. And then I painted my little chandelier to match it in there. So they're a favorite pair of mine. I don't wear them a lot because they're pretty long. I always wear long earrings, but these ones are super long, but I really love them. So anyway, I want to get a few large hole beads to put on here as well. And then I have, where are they at? Hopefully I won't bang too much as I'm trying to find something here. I think they're slightly out of the way, unfortunately. There's one. Come on, come out of there. Softlex, in their kits, they always send 1 lobster claw. But the lobster claw are those smaller ones, and I don't like them because, well, you know, as I've said, I've got older hands, and I like a little bigger one so that it's easier to work with. So I have them tucked up here. And there's one right there. Gosh, neighbors having to give neighbors their mail. Yeah, that's a problem, isn't it? Let's see. So I made this little loop. So we'll put the lobster claw through our little loop here. Uh-oh, did I not make it big enough? I know what I'll do. Because this would have to have 2 anyway, because the way it's facing, I will put a jump ring on here so that it can be grabbed by a jump ring. So I need 2. I may want a bigger one, but we'll see. I found another pair of my pliers, so now I have 2 of my pliers again. Yay, because I really, really missed my pliers when that one was broken. I'm going to have to order another one so I have a spare. I like a spare. But they were in the box of stuff I haven't gone through yet, so I had to go find them. So come back here, you. So now the lobster claw is there, and you can open it and hook it onto the ring I have here. Come on, hook onto the ring. Turd. There we go. And now he's going to hang down there. I'm trying to decide, do I want to put a few beads on here? I do have some large hole amethyst that would be pretty, or we have other various beads that might look good. If this had a little slightly bigger could hang it right here, except for it's gold, so I'd want us to make a new one with silver on it to hang here by our dragon. So we could just, like I said, decide on something back here for a slider bead, and then just tie 2 knots, overhand knots right here to keep it from sliding off. And then you could adjust the length by pushing your slider bead. I'm not sure if this amethyst is a big enough hole to go off both of them, because this is a large hole bead, but it's not a big large hole. So I know I could get the 1 through. I don't know if I could get 2 through. And actually I don't think so, because the 1 doesn't even really want to go through. So we need something just a little bit bigger than this to have a slider bead. And you'd need something of this size to slide down onto your sets if you wanted them there. Let's see what we've got here. Sort of trying to find a large hole bead that I like to slide down on that. We might go with those, but I was hoping for Unfortunately, check glass doesn't seem to like to do large hole beads that well. Come here, you guys. Well, let's see what it looks like with these guys on. So, take you and go through here. Oops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to. Do I have that I can use, that I want to use? Okay, oh, great. Obnoxious, not cooperating beads. What I'm going to do, and hopefully it will work, I'm not sure it will, is I need a dead piece of wire. Yeah, that's a good, don't want to go using that. Not sure this one's not too big. We'll see. It's going to be too big. What I'm thinking I will do is I will I just thought of something that might work. But I got to see if I've got what I want. almost slides too easily. That will work. This link of chain is now going to become my slider bead. So I'm just going to pull a link off of here. Go back into your tray. Close this baby back up. Make sure it's closed all the way, which it's not right now. So I'm going to work it till it gets there by just exerting some forward pressure and working back and forth till I feel them scrape together. Just like you would with a jump ring that's decided it wants to not work where you want it at. Come on, you. A little bit more. There we go. It's not quite closed all the way, though. I can see it. Still might be a little looser than I want it because I don't want it to be able to easily push up and down because we want to have it be tight enough that it'll hold the two pieces without sliding away. So need to just find me a small piece of wire, and I'm going to use this. Now this was my original thought, but it's got a pretty, even though it's a large hole bead, its hole is not atrociously huge, but I know I can get one in here fine. So if I can feed one in all right, and it slides with no problem, and it does, then I should be able to take a slim piece of wire and make a needle to pull the other side through. But it needs to be a slim piece of wire, so I may have to cut me a piece of my 20 or 22 gauge. Let's get a little piece of 20 gauge and see if I can make it work the way I want it to. So we're going to bend this in half. It has to be pretty well bent. We're going to hook it over our fairy silk. And push it together. Come here, flat nose. Stop wiggling in my hand. Now let's see if we can get this to work. Come on, go through the bead. Hey, Charlie. Well, this may still be too small. It doesn't want to go through, even with the bead wrapped into the fairy silk, wrapped into the cloth here. Trying to think of what other bead I have that has a slightly larger hole that it would match in color good. I can see that the metal right there is still there. It doesn't want to come through. So that's not going to work. It's just way a little bit too small. I have the beads we used in the necklace the other day, but of course they're not anywhere near the right color. I want something sort of purple colored, and this isn't it. So I know I had something. I just gotta see my black, gray, black. Oh, I just found a large hole purple that might work. I think this hole's a little bit bigger. I forgot that one tray of purple was up near the black because it wouldn't fit in the purple slot. This might work. So let's see if it will. It's a little bit bigger. This one went through with ease. Come on, baby, I can feel you. I can actually even see you. There we are. Which side is the short side? Come on, give me the short side. Nope, that's the big side. I want the short side. There we go. Now we can take this piece of wire off of our. Now see, that will slide so we can make this adjustable, but at the same time, it can be the full length or it can be shorter, and we'll put a knot in the bottom of both of these, an overhand knot. And that's simply to keep the slider bead from sliding off the end. So it's going to stop right there when it gets to our knots. But you can make it as short or as long as you want. It can go over your head, obviously, because it's plenty long enough to do that. So it doesn't need an actual clasp. Now I could have taken one of these beads instead of these white beads and moved it, put it in here, which I still could do if I want to unknot the knot. What do you guys think? Should I switch these white and purple beads to one of these purple beads? Matches our dragon better. I could do that if you think that if we want to do that. So like I said, these knots aren't really tight. I can still get them loose. I'm fairly positive anyway, I can still get them loose. Come here, come back here. Now I have a lot more of these dragons, so we could make more necklaces. I have some that have the, like the green one already had the pendant spot on it. I think I have a red one, and I'm not sure. We'll have to go get them, which we can do. Come on, you. Let's come off. Well, if we don't want to move these ones to one like this, it doesn't make any difference. I don't need to get the dots undone, but we could put one of these, which would match, I think, the dragon a little better down here if we wanted to, because I do have plenty of them. What do you guys think? Should we move and put one of these down here instead of these white and purple ones? Either way works for me. I like it both ways, so. You like it the way it is, Anita? So do I, rather. It gives it a bit of contrast down there. So we'll leave it like that. So anyway, there is our pretty fairy silk and dragon necklace. Pretty simple. Like I said, it slides over your head, and then you can adjust it with this slider bead right here. It's tight enough that it won't just easily come loose. You have to move it yourself. And then the knots will keep it from sliding off the end. So you can adjust it to the length you want it to be. So there's our dragon with its harness on to make this loop. See, I did a loop of Softlex right here to hook it onto. Now, if we wanted to have something, another little pretty on, I could wind up one like this, and we could hook it in here and add a little pretty right here to the to where it hooks onto our bell, to our lobster claw, to add a little dangle. I would wrap one up in silver probably instead of just using this one I already have wrapped in gold, but we could do that. And it might hide the lobster claw a little bit too, so it wasn't so prominent there. So have these pretties here. I also have, which matches a little better, this Saturn bead that could dangle here as well. This bead is really, really pretty. I love these beads, but this one actually is a rondelle. I know I have some that are regular round beads, but he might even detract a little bit. I don't know. I'm sort of leaning in halfway and halfway. So do I want to do that? I don't know. I just don't know if I want to do that or not. Here's one that's actually, I think this is the round one. That's strange, because these appear to be rondelles too, which would be, this should be in the other one. That's weird. I thought I had some of both. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I have a little bit of sea glass that matches in pretty good. So anyway, there is our dragon with the sari silk, or the fairy silk collar, so to speak. That worked pretty nicely. I'm quite pleased with how that turned out. So no, I don't think I want any of this. So there we go. There's our necklace. Oh, we're over the hour, but just barely. We go over the hour all the time. I was going to get my other dragons out so you could see my other ones. I think I have like 5 or 6. PK gave me a couple of them. Where are you, dragons? Oh, this is where my card from Randy went to. And I still have one of the coupons in it, and I forgot, and I couldn't find them. So, but here is one of them, but that's all right. I got a nice card from Randy when my Sammy passed away. Anyway, here is my box of dragons, and I have another purple one. This one is a gift from PK, it says. So let's see. I have a brown one with no, couple of brown ones. And one of those brown ones has, no it doesn't. I thought it had the pendant thing on it, but it doesn't. This red one has a pendant holder on it. So we have a red one with a pendant holder that we could use for something. And then I have 3 brown ones. 1, 2, and 3. And none of those have the pendant holder. This other purple one does not have a pendant holder, and neither does this red one. So it looks like just this red one has a pendant holder on it. So in order to use these others, I would, of course, have to wrap them up. Now, either do a harness like this, or I could use metal to do it, which might be simpler. But I have 3 of the brown ones, so if I'm going to use another one right now, I should use the next thing I should make with one of the brown ones, since I have 3 of those. And we could have 3 dragon necklaces at the fairy festival. Pull you out. Think about using him. Now, I will tell you that the fairy silk is expensive. Sari silk is not that expensive, but fairy silk is, mainly because of the way it's made with the hems all the way up both sides. Now, I have a sewing machine. If I wanted to take my sari silk, I could turn it into fairy silk by hemming it all the way up the side. But there we go. There's our dragon pendant, all finished. Let's turn his beads so the purple is towards the front. So, and he can be taken off, so you can make him into just a pin if you want to do that by just releasing this off the loop here. And then he becomes a pin again. And there's our slider bead and our knots. So very simple, but it won't be cheap, because the dragons themselves are, as you can see, $5 a piece. The fairy silk, I think I paid $8 for these strands, but they were on sale, so I think they're normally between 10 and 12. I can't remember. Not very many beads, but we're looking at, as far as the dragon and the sari silk is concerned, that's $13 worth of materials right there. Then the veil and the lobster claw and a few beads. So the materials, not counting this lobster claw, because it's part of the Softlex stuff and I didn't count it, but we're looking at like $14 as my price here. So so 56 for the one way of doing it, 14 times 2 plus about 15. about 43 for the other way, because I figured half hour. It might have taken me a little longer than that, but it's pretty simple, so half hour worth of time is good. So I'm thinking about $45 for this guy. So anyway, we've been on for an hour and a half, I think. Well, no, just a little over an hour. But we have been on a little over an hour. So we'll probably take off. I'm going to probably go design some hair barrettes and such and some fairy ears. Don't know if we'll work on them at all during our lives, but we might. We have our brown one here, and he does not have the pendant loop, which this one didn't, and that's why I wrapped this harness on him. One of my friends suggested using just some metal wire to do it, to make the harness, which might be a lot easier, because this was a bit of a battle to put him together in his harness, but it looks pretty cool. So we'll see what I decide to do. But we can use this brown one for something. Maybe we'll make something with him tomorrow. He's a pretty one. But we do need to, we've got him priced at I think $42. So I will put a price tag on him and put him into my work box, or my box of stuff I'm taking with. And we'll see about working on this dragon tomorrow, or maybe some hair barrettes, depending on my mood, obviously. Or but really simple, but really pretty little dragon necklace. And because he's got both, like the other one, if you wanted to use him, you could actually pin him as well as just using him as a necklace. You could even with the necklace, with it hanging from the necklace and stuff, you could still pin it if you didn't want it to move around or anything like that. So anyway, there we go. We're going to go for the day, and I hope you enjoyed making this pretty little dragon necklace with me and having our little chat about things. I probably will paint, I've got to paint these and a few other things, and then I won't make the fairy ear bases on camera, because I've already got 2 videos, I'm pretty sure, with making the fairy ear bases, if people want to go see how it's done, or how I make mine anyway. So I do have 2 videos for that, and if you're interested in seeing that. So you know, if that's what you want to do, they are there to see. I think we're going to call this guy 42 is what we just decided, wasn't it? So I might as well put the price tag on him, so since I know what we're going to call it. The other one will be more expensive because it's got more work to it, but that's all right, even though it is also on fairy silk. We'll just put this tag on here and put him in the box. Oh, I don't want to do that yet. I got to take his picture. Let's put that here till I take his picture. Anyway, there is that. And we'll see you all tomorrow. If you have anything of these things that you think that we should work on tomorrow, by all means, send me a message and we'll do so. Like I said, I'm thinking I'll make one more necklace with this dragon, and before I go. And I've got to paint these guys to make fairy ears. We do need to make fairy ears, and I need to make hair barrettes. So those are the things I need to make: the fairy ears, the hair barrettes, and whatever else fantasy-like I want to make. And like I say, if you have anything you would like to see me make, or that we should make before I go this week, by all means, let me know. Also, I'm going to turn this up here. I do like I said, I do have setup is between 11 and 12:30 for me for the Fairy Festival on Friday. And so since we usually, well, it's after 11 now, so for my time. So Friday is going to be a problem as far as lives are concerned. So I may just do like a recorded video for Friday, or I may just post something from the Fairy Festival while we're setting up. We'll see. But it will be either late on Friday that we're on, later than normal, or sorry, this is irritating me. It's up too high. Or I'll do a recorded one, or we'll do a different time than normal for Friday. We'll have to decide. If anybody wants to weigh in on what you think we should do for that, by all means, let me know. If there's anything, if you'd like to see me finish the fairy ears, I'm not going to make the blanks on camera. Like I said, I do have 2 videos already with the blanks on camera. If you'd like to see me work on this other dragon, when we make him into a necklace, we can do that. The little dragons, I'm thinking of making those into earrings, the little green dragons, but I might not. I might just use base ones because these little guys are painted on the front, but not on the back. And that's because I use these little guys a lot. I paint them for if I'm doing like putting them on a hair barrette or something. So, and they may go on a hair barrette. I have a bigger one, so they could join the big one and make a, see, it's a big one. They're quite a bit different in size, though they're the same pattern. So a lot of times what I'll do then when I have doubles, 2 littles and a big one, is make them into a large hair barrette with the 2 little ones off to the side and the big one in the front with something else with them. So anyway, I'm going to go. Like I said, I've said that 3 times already, haven't I? Anyway, this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.